Hi, good afternoon. My name is Michel Ayas. I'm with Family First Life Elite. And the training I'm going to be doing or sharing with you today, it has to do with the Index Universal Life. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to explain to you how the Index Universal Life policy works, just on a basics, at a basic level, so it will be easier for you to explain it when you are talking to your clients. Now, but before I move into the explanation with the Index Universal Life, what I want to do, I want to explain when or how the Index Universal Life plan really fits a client, okay? So I'm gonna start with these three different buckets or sections. The first one is where we pay tax all the time, where we can pay tax later, or we don't have to pay tax again. Now, on the tax now accounts or sections, we have what everybody knows, which is the checking account, savings account, CDs, money market. A lot of people are looking for ways where to save their money because they don't know anything better. They always go to the bank, right? And they put the money there. Now, the way the bank works is very simple, very basic actually. So let's say I go to, I don't know, any bank, right? I went to their ATM machine, I put $1,000 cash, right? So I put my $1,000 cash into the ATM, and guess what the ATM is going to give me back? Just a simple receipt, right? Just an acknowledge that I put my money into the account. But the bank, what the bank is going to do, they are going to grab my $1,000 and then they're going to say, well, I have $1,000 from this client. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give his $1,000 to this other client that applied for a credit card. So they use your money. Or in other words, that's called leverage. They're leveraging your money to put their money into somebody else's pocket. And this person over here that has a credit card is going to get all happy, as everybody does with a credit card. And then they're going to say, wow, no, I have $1,000 that I can go and spend. And they go to dinner, they go to the market, they buy something. The point is that they're spending $1,000 in the credit limit that they have. The downside is that the bank is going to charge them a 24% interest rate, right? On that money, on your money. So what happens here is that the bank, because they don't want you to get upset, they are going to share some of that interest that they are charging to this other client, and they're going to pay you a whopping 0.001%. So if you really think about it, for every $1,000 that you put into your account, you make $1, right? The downside is this is considered income. And the IRS says, wait, hold on, you gotta pay me taxes. And of course, the bank says you gotta pay my fees. So it doesn't really matter how much money you make in any of these type of accounts, you gotta immediately pay taxes, and of course you have to pay fees. Does that make sense? But then again, a lot of people, they go over here because they don't know any better, right? Now, the other one, the other accounts, or the other section, is to put your money where you gotta pay, when you can pay tax at a much later time. Here you have IRA accounts, you have 401ks, and you have 403bs, which are the accounts that I'm gonna be talking about. Mainly the one I'm gonna be focusing is gonna be the 401k, which is the most popular. And the reason it's the most popular is because when somebody finds a job, a lot of the companies that are out there hiring people, they offer benefits. They offer medical, dental, and so on and so forth. But they also say, and we also have a 401k plan where you can save money. And if you put money into your 401k, we are going to match it. When people hear the word match, they say, oh, wow, then that means I'm going to be saving a lot of money. So that means that if I put $1 into my 401k account, the employer is going to put another $1. Well, that is not true. Because a lot of people get so excited, they don't really listen to or hear the entire statement when they said, yeah, we match your dollar up to a certain percentage. So it's not dollar per dollar. So just so you will know. Now, the way your 401k account works is very simple. So let's say you start your account today, time goes by and you're saving money, you're saving money, you're saving money. Of course, it compounds and the money gets invested into the stock market. Okay, in fact, let me erase this so I won't confuse you. The money on the 401k gets invested into the stock market. Because the money gets invested here, the market, as you know, one day can go up or drops, earns, drops, earns, drops. So it does this through the entire life of the account. So if you happen to have $100,000 today, by the time you're 65 years of age, you might end up with the exact same $100,000. Again, the reason is because the market, the stock market, earns money, loses money, and plateaus through the entire life of the account, right? Now, when somebody is 65 years of age, most of the people say, you know what, I want to retire. I have $100,000 in my account that I can use for whatever, right? Pay expenses, travel, whatever. But what they don't realize is that when they turn 65 years of age and they are going to start taking distributions out of this money, the IRS takes their tax, right? So if you deduct the tax, and let's use, just for numbers' sake, 20%, and they take $20,000 in taxes, now they have a balance of $80,000 available into their account. Then again, the administrator of the 401k account is also going to charge their fees. So let's say they charge $15,000 in fees, just for numbers' sake. Now the person has $65,000 net or available in their account where they can start taking distributions from. So that's when people actually say like, whoa, I saved my money all this time, and the only reason I saved all this money is because I was thinking I was going to have a nice retirement, but in reality, I save a lot of money so my tax could be higher, right? So that is the downside with this type of accounts. Yes, you save money. I'm not saying that they're bad, but what I'm saying is that you need to understand how they work so you can invest your money into much better vehicles. Because nobody likes to pay tax when the money is big, right? The bigger the money is, the higher the tax deduction is going to be. So a lot of people say right here, you know what, I have $65,000, my distributions are going to be smaller than I thought they were going to be. The downside with the 401k is that there is a couple of rules. The first rule is the 59.5. 59.5 rule states that if you want to take money out of your account before you are 59.5 years of age, what's going to happen here is that you are going to be taxed, and you also have to pay penalties for taking an early distribution. Okay, so I mean, this is heavy. I mean, the taxes and the penalties can be pretty high. And you can make yourself a loan, which means that now you have to pay the money back at a higher interest rate so you can catch up. Does that make sense? Now, the other rule is the 72. And that is, this is the way it works. So let's say you turn 65 years of age, right? And at 65 years of age, you say, you know what, I'm still strong, I'm still healthy, I don't want to quit my job, I don't want to retire, I want to continue working. Well, what happens is, you continue working, you continue paying distributions into your 401k, but then you reach the 72-year mark. At that point, you look at yourself in the mirror, and then you say, you know what, I'm still healthy. I'm not as strong, but I'm still healthy, and I don't want to retire yet because I'm going to get bored at home. I'm going to continue working. At that moment, Uncle Sam says, hold on. You already reached the 72-year mark. Now, you can work until you get blue in the face. They don't care. If that's what you want to do, more power to you. But the IRS says you have not paid us taxes. We've been waiting for you to pay taxes since you opened your account. Now you are 72 years of age. Now it's time for you to start paying. At this point, if you choose not to take any distributions, the IRS is actually going to take the distribution for themselves. And they're going to take up to 50% to pay their tax on what they believe. The 50% is based on what they believe that your distribution should be at this point. So you could not be taking any distributions, but you're still going to be paying the IRS. You see? So because of these rules, the 401k, a lot of people that don't really understand it, they always go for it, but when the emergencies happen during their time, this is what they encounter, okay? So this is just a very basic explanation on the 401k, and I like to explain this to my clients, that way they can understand the benefits of an index universal life, which takes me to the section where you don't have to pay taxes ever again. Here you have accounts such as Roth IRAs, you have college plans, and you have the Index Universal Life, which is our focus, the IUL. The Index Universal Life, in my opinion, and I'm sure that a lot of people's opinion, is one of the best vehicles that we can use to invest money, to save money for the long run, when either for retirement or for any other emergency that happens to us in life. So now let me explain to you how it works, okay? Now think of the Index Universal Life as a house, okay? So this is our house, kind of. Now the purpose of a house is to provide shelter, right? The house protects us against wind, rain, sun, heat, stuff like that, right? Now, when it comes to money, an IUL, which is our house, is going to protect our money against the two biggest elements. One is going to be taxes, and the other one is going to be inflation, right? Now, this is a part that you always have to keep in mind, because inflation always goes up, right? Now, to give you a quick example of what inflation is, this market, for instance, 10 years ago, this market probably was worth, maybe 25 cents. 10 years later, the exact same marker, nothing changed on it. It still writes the same ink, same design and everything. Now we have to pay $1.25. So it's not that something changed with the marker. What it changed was the acquisition power of money, right? Things cost more. That's inflation, okay? Taxes, of course, every penny that we make, we have to pay taxes, but on Index Universal Life, we don't have to pay taxes anymore. Now, this is the way it works. Now, on an Index Universal Life, we want to put post-money tax or post-tax money. That means that when we get our check, our income, so let's say we're getting $1,000, from here we pay our tax, and all the fees and everything that we have to pay every single time we get our check. And let's say we have a $650 net, right? And then you decide to take $150 from the net income that you have, and you're going to put it into IUL. Now, be clear, you already paid tax on this money. You pay tax when you got your check, right? So this is what I call purified money. Now, your money is outside the house, so now what you're doing, you're putting your money inside the house, right? Now, at this point, your money starts compounding. It starts growing in interest. Now, if you remember, if you put your money in the bank, they're going to give you 0.1%, right? On an IUL, your money is going to be compounding at a much higher rate. Other advantages that the IUL has is that it has a floor and it has a ceiling, same as a house. So now, if the market starts going down and starts going negative, depending on the company that you're using, you can get up to 2% interest rate on your money. And this is on the low end. So your money still is going to compound regardless if the stock market is low. So as you can see, the difference between interest rates that you're going to be getting in IUL is definitely going to pay you a lot more money. Now, if the market crashes, right, and let's say it goes, just to number example, whatever amount, it's negative, right? Now, your Index Universal Life is going to go down to the 0% interest rate, which means that it's not going to earn money, but it's not going to lose any money. Think of it again on this pen. If I drop it, it's going to go to the floor, but it's not going to go to the dirt, right? So my floor is going hold the pen. So same thing with this. It's going to hold the money. It's not going to lose a penny. It's not going to earn, but it's going to maintain it. And of course, as the market starts going up, you're going to be making money. Now, the ceiling on these accounts, depending on the company that you're using, can be up to 13%, right? Now, if the rate goes up to 15%, then the insurance company keeps the difference. So this is for the company. But you can get paid up to this much interest rate on your money. So as you can see, your money can be compounding very, very rapidly in a very high speed. Now, right now, the middle, there's a middle, think of it out of a window. The middle range that it comes to the interest rate that an account is paying is 6.4%. Look at this, 6.4% in comparison if you put your money in the bank, right? So it's compounding in a much better fashion. Now, same as a house, the Index Universal Life has a door, which means that you have access to your money. Remember on the 401k that if you want to access your money before you're 59 and a half, you have to pay taxes and penalties. On this particular case, you don't have to worry about that. You're going to decide when it's time for you to take money out, depending on how much money you have saved. On an Index Universal Life, you as the owner, you have 100% control of it. So just to give you an example, let's say that 10, 15 years later of being putting money in it, you have $50,000 saved. And then you say, you know what, I'm going to pull $20,000 and I'm going to go on vacation, I'm going to buy myself a car, or I'm going to put down payment on a house, whatever the reason is. You can take the $20,000 and the insurance company is just going to ask you a couple of questions. The first one is if you want to create a loan. If you don't, it's 100% okay. Then again, the second question is going to be how you want your money. Do you want them to wire the money into your account, or do you want them to send you a check? It's very simple. There is no penalties, there is no taxes. Now, again, so it has access. Another benefit that you have with the Index Universal Life is that you have living benefits. Think about it this other way. All of us are humans, and therefore we have the risk of getting sick. And let's say you happen to be diagnosed with a terminal illness where the doctor says that you only have 12 months to live. Well, you're going to need money to live on. If you happen to have a chronic illness and you're not available to perform 2 out of the 5 basic functions like bathing, like feeding yourself, you're going to need money, right? Well, then you can access your death benefit. So let's say you have whatever amount. If you decide to have $200,000 on your death benefit, you can take up to 80% out of this money to pay for your expenses if you happen to be diagnosed with something something major. So that's access. The last one, of course, is death benefit, right? So now that is the purpose of the life insurance as well, that you are leaving money to your family. So don't forget, on an Index Universal Life, the first thing that you have is cash accumulation. The second one, you have no loss. The third one, you have access to your money with no penalties, no tax. The fourth one, you have living benefits. And the fifth, you have your death benefit. So as you can see, with an Index Universal Life, in reality what you're creating a house where now your money is sheltered against the two major elements that affect money, which is taxes and inflation. You're always going to be making money, even if it is at a low rate. It's still so much higher that you will get the money in the bank. You have a middle of the range interest rate according to the market. You have a ceiling that can help you, to make your money grow if the market goes up. So that's your cash accumulation. You have no loss. You have access to your money. Again, if you decide to buy a house, if you have an emergency, you want to go on vacation, you are going to be able to have access to your money. Living benefits. You happen to be diagnosed with a terminal illness or a chronic illness, you need money to live on. And you can access the money from your death benefit. Not from what you have accumulated, but from the death benefit. And of course, if you or when you pass, then your family gets the best gift from you. They're going to miss you. Believe me, they will. But they're not going to miss the checks that you are bringing home because they're going to have still the death benefit that comes from an insurance company. The best thing is, if you remember, this plan is under don't pay tax ever again section. So neither the money that you are accumulating, nor the death benefit, nor the living benefits create any taxation. There's no taxes due on these accounts. And again, the reason is because all the money that you are putting into the IUL is being post-tax. You already pay tax on this money. When did you get paid? When did you pay the tax? When you got your check. When you got paid from your job. You pay your taxes, and whatever is net, you started saving over here. Think of an index universal life as a savings account that is on steroids because it's going to be compounding money so much faster. There is nothing in this type of accounts that prevents you of not doing it in reality. Again, you have the benefits of cash accumulation, no loss, access to the money, living benefits, death benefits. So again, when you are talking to your clients and your client is young and healthy and they want to put money for retirement, index universal life. Even if the person is not that young, but the person has enough, he has the plans to accumulate more cash, because a lot of people like to save money, right? And all of us are going to go through the exact same thing. Hopefully, we're going to be able to reach the retirement age. And we are going to have family, we're going to have expenses. So the best way for us to cover all those expenses in our later years is by having money saved on a vehicle that is going to protect our money against the market crashing, against taxes, and you know that your money is always secure. So again, Index Universal Life. My name is Michel Ayas. I'm with Family First Life Elite, and I hope I was able to share this information with you. And if you have any questions, please reach out. Thanks so much.